So I went to Marquette from 1984 to 1988. I did 2 degrees in 4 years, and I went on tour with the Grateful Dead many times, and I had a rock band, and I worked in the theater, and I did a whole bunch of stuff. And I partied really hard. And one of the people I partied with was Chris Farley. And I remember one summer, well, that from spring to summer was just crazy. 1986, the Milwaukee Brewers came out of the season opener winning 13 games straight. And George Webb, this local hamburger chain, had always promised that if the Milwaukee Brewers would win 11 straight games in a row, that they would give away free hamburgers for a week. And so, like, seriously, we were in heaven. We were, college students on limited incomes or whatever. And when that happened, man, we bought a keg of beer back then in Milwaukee. Back at that time, like a keg of beer was $27.50. And so one of our buddies with the pickup truck, we got some lawn chairs and we had some trays, and me and Chris Farley and all these other guys in the back of this pickup truck just cruising around from one George Webb to the next, getting tray loads of hamburgers. It's like Chris Farley was like wimpy, with these going out of these George Webbs with these trays of hamburgers for everybody. We're all drinking, and unbelievable, just unbelievable. That was the spring, 1986. And so then in the summer, I did summer school, not because I was behind or anything. I wanted to do 2 degrees in 4 years. So I went to summer school that summer, and that summer we had a party, like a rager, at these row houses near the university. And these little row houses, they're like 2 stories tall. So we're on the roof of this one house. We're all really wasted. We're just like way out there. And Chris Farley and the rugby team was there. And they were crazy, They all dropped acid. And they were challenging each other to jump from one row house to the next. There's a small alley in between these row houses. And so, and there was this car. I remember it was like one of my buddy's cars parked there, one of those Datsuns or something, and a Datsun. And so everybody on the rugby team jumped from one house to the next. And Chris Farley was the last in line. And he was like, oh, I don't know what to do. And he's really freaking high on acid and all that stuff. And he tried. He ran, and we all watched him. And he jumped, and he fell. And we're like, oh no. And me and my brothers were like, we're out of here. We're hit. This is like the cops and the ambulance is coming in. We don't want to be here. We're like, we're not in that. We're not wanting to be near cops. But anyway, we go downstairs, and there's Chris Farley peeling himself off the Datsun. No bones broken. He feng shuied it all the way down and boom, hit the car and made it out alive without a single bone broken. Chris Farley.